gentlemen, the following contest, scheduled for one fall, it is for the Monster Factory Supersonic Championship with a 1 hour time limit.
And the crowd already less than thrilled that they have to hear this theme.
Introducing first, a challenger, representing world renown, weighing 185 pounds, Wonderboy, Primetime.
Oh, he's coming over here for Ron. What is this? Somebody from, that's Brian Morris from behind.
Oh, come on.
That's Brian Morris. Brian Morris playing the deciding factor here. Brian with his own history with Goldie. I'm a little disappointed that ruined what was otherwise an amazing clash between two of the absolute best here at the Monster Factory. Once one of the most beloved faces here at the Monster Factory, Brian Morris turned his back on the fans to align himself with Nick Petit, Chris Desmond, and formerly John Alba to form World Renowned, and it's been hard to argue with the success that they've had.
Very impressive to say the least, and looking to add a little bit more to that tonight. Should he get through Primetime, Christian Darling.
Brian Morris definitely has a chip on his shoulder here tonight.
Weighing 220 pounds, he is the reigning, defending Monster Factory Supersonic Champion. They call him Primetime, Christian Darling.
And this crowd is going berserk for Christian Darling, as Skyler looking to gather up the remnants of the notes here.
Well, maybe Christian Darling will avenge my torn up notes as he looks to defend the Supersonic Championship against Brian Morris here tonight.
Now, something that has to be going through the mind of Christian Darling. I know he's defending the title here, but also not too far away. Darling doing double duty here and is also part of that fatal four-way tag team #1 contender match.
Absolutely. That's going to be back-to-back, is it not? As Brian Morris wasting no time, jumping right on Christian Darling. Referee Ruby O'Connor struggling to hold Morris back. You're not even that nice.
Making sure you can go, and the bell sounds, and Morris immediately charging in like a bull.
Christian Darling is down in the corner.
So Morris now continuing the onslaught here, looking for perhaps a suplex. But now counter the other way, and now holding on up here, at least trying to hold Morris on up.
Look at the core strength. Brian Morris in disbelief after getting dropped on his face. Morris favoring the ribs there as Primetime laying in. He's gonna feel that one in the morning.
I'm feeling it right now, and I didn't even get chopped.
Sometimes it's like that. Didn't even happen to you, and you can feel it. Sure ain't feeling it. Watching live on YouTube, Darling not letting up. Little fake out there. Instead of another chop, he just flung Brian Morris to the other side of the ring.
A hip toss with authority.
Morris with impressive athleticism up and over Christian Darling, sending him shoulder first into that ring post.
I don't know if he caught the ring post or the turnbuckle hook in the middle there, but either way, it's not good. Unless you're Brian Morris, of course, in which, in his mind, it's great.
And now, if you're Brian Morris, you have the advantage. Taking him to the center of the ring, snapmare, and to work over the shoulder with that elbow.
And now that shoulder is a target.
Wrenching that shoulder over that steel cable. Christian Darling now favoring the arm. Brian Morris methodically
Single arm DDT.
going back to that shoulder, back to that arm. You see the frustration. I think the fans are living rent-free in Brian Morris's head, and that might be costly in a championship match like this.
Extremely costly. But so too would be getting disqualified, as Morris has gotten dangerously close to getting near that 5 count.
And now a shot right to the breadbasket by Darling to Morris. Morris returning the favor with a kick. Morris relentless on that arm. Elbow drop. Ferran, have you seen anything in the past that maybe that Brian Morris is setting up for going for the arm?
I mean, I can't say that I personally have, but I mean, World Renown has certainly gotten much stronger and more varied in their ways of attack, so it's very possible that they've picked up some skills along the way.
Christian Darling getting the ropes. Brian Morris dragging him mercilessly back to the center of the ring. You know, much like we saw with Twitch earlier, Brian Morris seems to be a man on a mission tonight.
He most certainly does. He wants to put some more hardware into World Renown's camp, which is something he hasn't had some of in a bit of time here in the MFPW. And
very unique chicken wing armbar there. Brian Morris hoping to come out of this match with the Supersonic Championship. Meanwhile, his brother Nick Petit trying to bring home the Monster Factory Championship tonight. We could see World Renowned leave covered in gold.
A lateral press and right shoulder up, the good shoulder at this point of Primetime Christian Darling. But you can see, you mentioned the fans living rent-free in Brian Morris's head. There's an example of it there, taking his eye off of the proverbial prize.
He's got Christian Darling down on the mat, taking him almost a Fujiwara armbar.
Perhaps looking for a submission here is Morris.
Darling in the middle of the ring, has to get to those ropes. The fight in the eyes of Christian Darling, that does not look like a man contemplating tapping, as he hits a sidewalk slam on Brian Morris.
What power in the presence of that much pain, and you can see how much damage did he do to himself trying to power up Morris to be able to get a little bit of separation.
Both men back to their feet now. Darling coming back with the clotheslines with the good arm.
That one still works well.
As Brian Morris is finding out the hard way as he gets flapjacked. I think Brian landed funny there. That might have compressed the back as well.
How's that nut taste, Brian?
Fans taunting Brian Morris. That's a big ending there by Christian Darling.
But again, how much did that do to the arm and shoulder? That left arm, you can see, heavily favored by Primetime.
I'm impressed Primetime was able to get him up. Lining Brian Morris up in the corner. Darling hits the turnbuckle. Morris with the schoolboy.
Trying to hook tried to hook the trunks. Darling able to kick out.
Well,
Now up on the shoulder, perhaps looking for that TKO, but again, that arm coming into play and now continuing to work on that left arm.
Let him go. Come on, Christian, eat that.
And there's that enziguri. Has knocked down and out so many in the tenure of Wonderboy Brian Morris. Oh, here we go.
The elbow pad is off. Morrison. Look at the charged up bicycle kick, and that caught Brian Morris somewhere between the stomach and the sternum. Whatever it did, Morris is out on the mat as Christian Darling taking to the top rope.
Fairly uncharted territory for him, but a frog splash. Will that do it here? 2 and no.
Shades of the late great Art Barr. Beautiful frog splash for him by Christian Darling, but just not enough to get it done. Even though the crowd is protesting, that was 3.
It was close, but the ref made the right call.
Come on, Primetime.
Darling picking Morris up. Morris with a knees to the arm.
It's almost like a code breaker to the arm and shoulder.
Leg lariat by Morris, drops. Oh, I think somebody's thinking of some payback here. That's Goldie's music. Brian Morris is distracted, getting out of the ring. The music's playing, but Goldie nowhere to be seen. I think somebody's playing head games with Brian Morris because he very well may have had this match won. Referee Ruby O'Connor up to a 5 count. Nick,
Wait, near side cradle here.
Inside.
2 and
he got him! Brian Morris!
Ladies and gentlemen, the winner of this bout and still Monster Factory Supersonic Champion, Primetime Christian Darling!
I think it's official, Perron. I don't think the fans are the only ones living rent-free in Brian Morris's head. David Goldie is as well. And now here comes Stevie Brooks, tag team partner of the man who's still the Supersonic champion.
But how much is Christian Darling going to have left in this fatal 4-way tag team #1 contender match that's coming up next? No rest for the weary.
No, definitely not. He's going to have to lean heavily on his tag team partner, Stevie Brooks.